again.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the August 29th episode of the Bullshit Podcast. I am here with guest Maple for this one.
Hello.
He also, I say helped, he was kind of there for the gameplay recording of Forza in the background as well.
It was just convenient timing, honestly.
Yeah, we were playing Forza together, and I had thought out, like, in the back of my head, fuck, I still need to record footage for the podcast.
And I made the great suggestion.
And he's like, fuck it, let's just do it now. And I was like, all right, sure. And so we did it. Yeah, it was insane. There's a moment in this footage that is fucking dumb. We both went sailing off of a fucking cliff. It was funny. Well, because
and then
the thing.
Getting stuck.
Okay, we will get into our topics soon, and we do have a lot of them. We have like 9 of them, which is like nuts because there was a lot of gaming related, like entertainment news this week. But
because we're starting up with the ramp of the fall, right? Fall releases.
Yeah, so. Forza, for those of you who've never played Forza, and only played, like, for example, GTA or 5M, GTA and 5M, nothing fits that style of driving better than the word arcadey. That is very arcadey driving. It does have some realism to it, but ultimately it's arcadey driving, and I personally do like arcadey driving games. I would argue that if I were to... 3 big driving games that I've played, if I ordered them from most arcadey to most realistic... GTA is the most arcadey.
Yep.
Then you have this awkward middle ground between arcadey and realistic that is like Need for Speed Heat. And then you have the realistic side of things, which is Forza. Forza is one of the only racing games, in exception to Need for Speed Heat for some of their vehicles too, where you drive the cars and they actually have the weight they're supposed to have. You're driving around a car, and this is a car that's like 1,000+ pounds, like a ton plus of metal that you're driving. And so sometimes when you come up to a turn and you're coming in, 10 to 20 miles per hour over the speed limit that you should be approaching the corner at, you do hit the brakes, you do go into the turn, but your car just decides, fucking, I'm straight lining it. And that's what happened, and we both went off of a cliff. But, yeah. So
I'd also like to say, Gran Turismo is sort of like even closer towards like for me it would be like GTA, then you have like Need for Speed, and then you'd have like Gran Turismo as a series, and then you'd have Forza, because Forza's a bit more realistic, but like I feel like it's like Gran Turismo's on the verge of being like realistic and realism, and like they do have weights in that, but it's just like, okay, it's still an arcadey racing game, and then you have like Forza.
Forza's one of the only racing games I've ever played where, like, in real life, you're always told, like, you have to slow way down the sharper the corner or the turn is, right? Like, you could be going 130 down the highway, but as soon as it makes, like, a fucking 180-degree bend, you have to slow down to, like, 60, depending on the car that you're driving, to make sure you get around that. No game like Forza has ever made me, in a race, slow down to 30 to make a 90-degree turn, and then speed back up to try to catch up and maintain my speed. Like, it's a really good game. Anyway, we're gonna start into our first topic for the podcast today. Nintendo being pretty based.
Oh?
I've heard a lot of shit come from Nintendo over the years. I mean, every game company has their shit, but Nintendo's one that, especially with like copyright and like, especially with like copyright infringement on YouTube and stuff, and like sometimes they'll just claim people's videos just for playing their games in their videos when they're maybe not even talking about the game. Nintendo's been in some pretty deep shit, but they're acting pretty based lately. So yesterday, Sony Interactive Entertainment announced it will increase the price of PlayStation 5 consoles in various non-US territories due to global economic conditions such as inflation. Microsoft then declared later that day it will not be doing the same with the Xbox. Now, Nintendo has chimed in on the matter. So I'm going to pause there in the article and just say, this is why I think the console wars are stupid. The thing about and I realized this, and I realized this way before, but it kind of like reintroduced the point with more factual evidence when I watched Some Ordinary Games Mudahar's video on the console wars.
Oh yeah.
There is no war. What people don't understand is that Sony is a tech company that they have like audio and like, DVD, stuff too, but like audio and DVD stuff is what they, like speakers, headphones, stuff like that. But
yeah, and they introduced,
one
like,
of their
Blu-ray and that,
biggest cash cows is PlayStation. They need
Yep.
PlayStation to work. They need money to make PlayStation. They need PlayStation to sell well. Microsoft can literally lose money on Xbox for like 2 straight years before they have to worry about it turning any sort of profit. Microsoft's such a bigger tech company than Sony ever will be. It's literally Shadow of the Colossus levels of like competition. It's like Sony needs the PlayStation to do well. Microsoft doesn't really need the Xbox to do well for a few years. They just need to turn a big profit on one of them, and then they're good for the next few years. It doesn't matter. They could release the Xbox Series X, and the sales fucking tank and blow up in their face, and it's like, wow, this console did shit. Doesn't matter. They'll still make an Xbox in the next few years.
Oh yeah. Well,
And they could sell it, and that one could do shit too. But then the next one after that, they need to turn a profit on, and as long as they make a profit, they can keep pumping it out. Sony needs PlayStation to work, like, and sell a lot of units. Like, they need that. Microsoft doesn't. They have their hands in so many other revenues that are like money making things that it's like they don't necessarily need Xbox to work.
Well, this is my thing. I think, what is it? A couple days, or not a couple days ago, I saw like a TikTok or something in regards to like the sales of like, because a guy was curious and he's like, oh, well, it's like a mil behind. So like, what is it? I think Sony's already sold like, I'd say, what, like 66 million already. And then like the Xbox Series X is like in at like 630 million units sold or something like that. Or it's like really close numbers, like by like 5 or 10. And it's like, okay, well.
And then here's another thing too. Why do you think that out of every console that has had like stock and supply shortages, PlayStation 5 has been the one? It's because Sony's a smaller company. They can't get a hold of the resources easily. They can't pay as much money to get a hold of the resources. You know, if the resources to make Xboxes and Nintendo Switches goes up by like 1 million, Microsoft and Nintendo just goes, fuck it, have it. Whereas Sony has to think about it, and they really have to like crunch the numbers and be like, can we do this? You know, like it's a big scale difference.
But yeah, because they're more centralized, like TVs and other stuff as well, and their gaming sort of thing is like they're not so much like main component of their company. Their company is sort of sound, TV, more so general electronics and that. And I think they also, not mistaken, do some appliances. I'm not totally sure on that, but
yeah, I mean, Microsoft has, you know, like Windows, PC, like 90% of everything to do with PC and PC gaming and people owning PCs. That's all Microsoft shit. Like they're set. Nintendo's kind of the same in terms of, you know, they have these massive fucking IPs like Mario and well, I mean, Mario's their biggest, but like, you know, they're also a gaming giant. Yeah. They're kind of the same kind of company as Sony, only Nintendo is just in gaming and Nintendo's doing way fucking better. Yeah. But anyway, in a statement to Eurogamer, Nintendo reiterates a quote from President Shuntaro Furukawa made in June, in which he stated the company has, quote, no plans to increase the trade price of its hardware. Furukawa made this statement during the 82nd annual general meeting shareholders that month, in which he also said, quote, while we cannot comment on pricing strategies, we currently do not have any plans to change the price of our hardware due to inflation or increased procurement costs in each country. We will determine our future pricing strategies through careful and continued deliberations. Although the PlayStation 5's price will remain unchanged in the US, in parentheses for now, both versions of the console have become more expensive in Canada, Europe, the UK, Mexico, Japan, and Australia. The price hikes have already gone into effect in those regions except Japan, which occurs on September 15th.
I think, what is it? I think it was originally around like 500, and I think it's gone up to like 8 or something up here. Almost close to 1,000. It's like, whoa, if I'm gonna spend 1,000 on like a console, I got a PC for like 2.
All I'm saying is actions speak louder than words. The fact that both Microsoft and Nintendo have said we don't need to increase our prices goes to show how unfortunately down bad Sony is right now.
What is it? On top of, I believe, them raising their prices, they're also raising the price of the PSN, or like their sort of online subscription.
Yeah, that, and
well.
I think also like maybe on top of inflation, I think that also price increase might be happening, because didn't they just get sued for like $1 billion or some ridiculous amount of fucking money, or they're in the process of being sued for a stupid amount of money or something?
I believe I forget what's in regards to. I think it was it was regards to like the PS5, and there was like a big issue or major issue with everybody having like the same problem in like games and that not working. So everybody who's like a defective console,
Yeah,
because it's illegible.
There's that, and then I also saw that there's after that like lawsuit or whatever was announced. I didn't pay attention to what the lawsuit was really about, but I figured it had something to do with game licensing or something like that, because immediately after, a bunch of people, especially a couple big creators like Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, were tweeting about like, this is why you buy physical copies of games. And he was like super into like he was like preaching on Twitter about how you always want to buy the disc over a digital copy or whatever. I personally don't care, but it's
again, it's like the situation applies to like certain things, right? Like if you're buying a console, then obviously you're gonna want to opt in for the disc. But if you're like going PC side of the things, then digital's sort of more the way to go. Again, like my PC doesn't have a disk drive or a CD drive to insert discs, so I'm all digital download now. But
dude, okay, listen, I'm all for like the PC master rate. Well, okay, I don't like using that phrase, but like PC is like the ultimate gaming platform, and I think we all know it. But I would be hardcore capping if I said that I don't miss console gaming. There's something about PC games. I understand that you can do way more on PC gaming than you could ever do with consoles. But there comes those rare moments. Modern Warfare 2019 was one of those moments. Specifically, any COD I've played in the last 5 years has given me this moment of, I really wish I had a console that I could like stream and play this on console instead of my PC, because on console you don't ever have to worry about the most basic of games functioning correctly. Maybe nowadays you do a bit with like Cyberpunk, how that went with PS4 and shit, but like typically, especially in the world of Call of Duty, if you fucking put the disc in the console and you start the fucking game, it'll work. Whereas on PC, sometimes you boot up the game and you get frame drops and some weird texture issues sometimes, and like it runs sluggish, and like you have to like fuck with your graphic settings, and it's like this whole big fucking headache just to get the game to run at 60 frames. Whereas on a console, you just pop the fucking disc in, boom, it runs at 60 frames, no issue. That's always been kind of a pet peeve of mine. That's one of the reasons why I miss console. But, I mean, obviously I don't ever want to go back to that in terms of that's my only gaming experience, but...
No. Yeah. Well, again, I have a Nintendo Switch, and recently mine had an issue where it had a software update because it's an older machine. It's one of the first ones, and unfortunately the update broke the machine, so I sent it to Nintendo, and they sent me a brand new system. It's like, for me, it's like the enjoyment of, okay, well, if I'm going on vacation, I'm going to take my Switch with me because it's the portability, right? And it's the enjoyment of the console games. And then if you're centered in a place, and it's like, okay, well, I'd rather do PC than a console because I'm not moving anywhere.
If I ever get a console again, I think I would go, like if I ever wanted to save up like about, I'm not saying that it would cost me $1,000, but I'm saying if I want to save up about $1,000 and be like, okay, I'm gonna use this $1,000 to buy a console and like a game or two for that console, I'd probably go with a Switch.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge Nintendo fan. I'm genuinely not. But there's a few games that have come out that I wouldn't mind playing for Switch, and at the end of the day, it has modularity. I could sit here at my desk and play it, or if I go out somewhere and I know that I have like a long wait time to do something, I can just take my Switch with me. Like, I feel like that would be a smarter investment to go into than getting the new Xbox or PlayStation.
Well, again, there's always issues. Like, what is it? The game Ark Survival. I have Ark Survival for the Switch. It's not really optimized, and it's horrible. So I don't play it. So it was kind of a waste of money. But then again, it wasn't overly expensive to begin with to buy the cartridge. And it's like, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal. But like other games like Smash and Mario Kart and Mario Party like work perfectly fine and it's great. Like Pokemon, that's good. But yeah, no, it's definitely the versatility and the usefulness, especially if you're like going on like a a trip where you need to go on like a, say you're going to Europe from like the US and it's like a 10-hour plane ride. obviously you don't want to do like sometimes the movies that they give you with the airline. If they do have the movies, they aren't great. So it's like, okay, why have my Switch?
Yep, play some Switch, and then once your Switch runs out of battery or whatever, then just sleep for the rest of it.
Yeah, or even bring your charger on your carry-on, and then you can charge it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our next topic. Is there some good news for people who are Bioshock fans? Maybe some good news if you're a fan of Bioshock. I've never played Bioshock. I have the opportunity. I've been sitting on the opportunity to play. I've been sitting on the opportunity to play Bioshock. Genuinely, I think the whole trilogy of the first like 3 games or whatever, or the first 2 or however many they had.
4 or something. Because I got it off of Epic.
Yeah, Epic had like the trilogy or whatever. It had the entire collection except for Infinite for free on Epic, and I did get that to my library. So I am sitting on the opportunity to play Bioshock, but I've never played it, and the demand for me to play it has not been there yet.
No, they have so it's 1, 2, and Infinite. It's all 3. It's a whole collection.
Well then, yeah, I have that then. So I have the opportunity to install and play them. I just haven't done it yet.
Same.
But yeah, some good news for Bioshock fans. After revealing earlier this year that it was making a Bioshock movie, Netflix has announced who will be directing it and who's writing the script. And you might recognize them, and if not, you'll most certainly recognize the movies they've worked on. Netflix revealed in a tweet today that Francis Lawrence, who directed I Am Legend, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, and Slumberland, will direct this Bioshock film adaptation, and Michael Green, who wrote the script for Loga? I don't know what Loga is. Blade Runner 2049 and American Gods will write the script. So,
ooh,
sounds like they have a couple of capable fucking people on this.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And that's why it's good news for Bioshock fans. So, I have a picture of the tweet, which I will, hold on, which I will pop up here on the screen. I have a picture here of the tweet from Netflix. Bioshock, our live-action feature film adaptation of the renowned video game franchise, will be directed by Francis Lawrence, from a script written by Michael Green.
It's Logan.
What?
You cut it off. It's Logan.
Oh no! It's here they mistyped it. It says Loga.
Oh.
So yeah, they mistyped it. Logan. There you go. Because on this original article here, it does say Loga. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck Loga is, but okay, Logan. That makes sense now.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. But yeah, no, so there you go. Good news for fucking Bioshock fans. If you're a fan of Bioshock, I have nothing else to add to this because I've never played Bioshock. But
I remember playing it as a kid, like really young, so I was kind of freaked out by it, and it was definitely eerie, but definitely being older, I definitely would like to revisit the game and play all 3.
I know that it was a big inspiration for the custom zombies map Leviathan.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I know nothing about Bioshock. So
I believe it's set in like the 50s, and like it's sort of like the mysterious likeness of like an underwater.
Yeah, it's like a whole like underwater city. Yeah. And I know that it's meant to be like a horror action game. It's like an action game that takes like horror cues and like, yeah. It is what in the movie industry would be considered a thriller.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thriller is a tag they give movies that aren't necessarily horror movies, but they're meant to make you feel uneasy or scare you.
There's definitely horror elements, but anyways.
Okay, I'm excited about the third topic though. This topic I'm super excited about because I have been keeping my eyes on this game. This is a game that I want to play so bad because it has so many elements of other games that I love in it, and it's like it's so wacky, it's fascinating. So, Atomic Heart reemerged during Gamescom with a new trailer devoted solely to showing off its impressive Bioshock-esque combat. Over 3 minutes of gameplay footage shows off the carnage you'll unleash against adversaries, both artificial and organic. Players wield melee weapons or firearms in one hand and more, shall we say, unconventional abilities in the other. That includes electrifying targets with lightning bolts, tossing them around with a telekinesis like telekinesis-like power, freezing foes solid with an ice blast, or using wires to hijack machines. The action-packed video shows off how players can creatively combine their arsenal to dismantle and disembowel anything standing in their way. I'm going to pause for a second to say, the reason why I've been keeping my eyes on this game is because, A, the very, very early, like, split seconds of combat we were shown all the way back in, like, 2018, 2019, looked very, like, it looked very Borderlands-y to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, obviously, I won't know how the combat feels until after I play it, but just based upon visuals alone, it looked very Borderlands. And now in this new trailer that this article is talking about, I had watched it while I was, getting these topics. And now, you know what it honestly looks like? Now, they mentioned Bioshock, and obviously we just said I never played Bioshock, so I can't compare it to that. It looks a lot like Bulletstorm. Do you remember Bulletstorm?
I believe I do. Which console was it on?
It was on, like, 360. I don't know if it came to PS3, but it was on 360, and you had, like...
I believe I might have played it at a friend's house.
Yeah, it was very, like...
360.
The art style and, like, the character models and everything were very Gears of War. And on your left hand, you had, like, this electric whip you could, like, whip out and, like, grab enemies with and throw them up in the air or do shit with them. And the whole premise of the game is you're meant to kill people as creatively as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So you actually got points and score based on how creative you were. So instead of just shooting the guy down, if you electro whipped him into a cactus, you'd get, like, this little thing that popped up on your screen and said, spiked, and you got, like, X amount of points for it. Or if you, like, electro whipped a barrel and threw it at a group of enemies, it would be, like, you'd get, like, a different thing for it. And it was, like,
I remember doing something like that.
Yeah, it was how creatively you could kill targets. Or you could kill the bad guys. So that's kind of the vibe I got off of this new gameplay trailer, which is pretty cool. And, I mean, with the original trailers as well as this new trailer, you just get to see the batshit fucking crazy world. I'll read the second half because it talks more about the world that it's in, but it's fucking crazy. Like, the trailer was like a fucking acid trip, I swear. Like, not crazy colors.
Like I remember watching the trailer, but, like...
Well, this trailer that they just recently released on the 25th, it's a madness. This fucking trailer, like they're showing gameplay bits, and then, like, in between, there's, like, these two robotic bitches where, like, tentacles come out of the one's head and then, like, twist around each other, make, like, a unicorn horn, and she, like, stabs it into, like, the uterus of the other one, like, not into the vagina, but, like, in through the stomach to, like, the uterus, and then, like, starts cutting her up. It's, like, fucking weird, dude. There's no, like, blood or gore, but it's fucking weird. It's like an acid trip the whole fucking time, and I love it. Atomic Heart was first announced in 2018 and takes place in an alternative futuristic version of the Soviet Union in 1955. Robotic technology flourished post-World War II, allowing humanity to create a high-tech utopia. Unfortunately, these mechanical helpers have started rebelling against their human creators. If that wasn't enough, killer mutants born from secret experiments have also run amok. Players control Private Agent P3, who embarks on a secret mission to get to the bottom of what's caused this seemingly perfect society to collapse and clean up this mess. And then, Atomic Heart will launch on pretty much every fucking console except Switch, and it's also launching on Xbox Game Pass. So,
as well as PC.
Yeah. Every platform, I said every console, every platform under the sun, discluding Switch. And it's gonna be on Game Pass. Yeah, the game is fucking nuts. We're not gonna watch the trailer here. We could probably watch the trailer in the after show, but I don't want to watch it here because it'll be too long. But it is fucking wicked. It's a madness. I can't wait for this fucking game. It seems because it combines like that, like, so you know how The Last of Us was like a survival game, but they didn't quite make it there. Like if The Last of Us was open world and, like, proper survival, like, meaning, like, you had to eat and drink and, like, maybe even sleep, and it was, like, such a bigger scope game instead of, like, a linear story-driven game, that's kind of the vibes I get from this. Now, obviously, we don't know if it's going to be like The Last of Us or if it's going to be, like, an open world, more survival game, but it seems really fucking Last of Us-y. But instead of third person, it's first person, and instead of, like, kind of grounded in reality, it's like, it's just a madness. Like, it's fucking nuts. You have, like, robots doing, like, a bajillion things. I think at one point in the trailer, there's, like, an eyeball that rolls around on tentacles and fucking, like, it's nuts. It's literally a fucking acid trip, and I love it. It's so crazy. All right. Moving on to our fourth topic. If you like turtles and dodgeball, you're gonna love this. Knockout City Season 7 is called a Mutiny. Mutants named Neon, Susan, Ratfink, and Goober, which are some fucking nuts names, have come to the surface to fight for their place in Knockout City, but they aren't the only mutants coming to town. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles join them in the dodgeball battlefields of Knockout City this season.
Oh, shit.
When the 13-week season featuring Mutant Mutiny launches on August 30th, Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael join the game as playable characters for any dodge brawl match. Each turtle features a unique intro pose. If players want some more TMNT action in Knockout City, they can purchase the Premium Brawl Pass featuring TMNT rewards, a new map, new hideout, customizations, and more. So there you go. If you play Knockout City, there you go.
I know this game.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are coming to the game. I personally saw when it was coming out, I was like, wow, this game has the potential to be big, but it is not a game that I will ever purchase, and I still feel that way because, to me, combining a fighting game with dodgeball sounds stupid. But, Rocket League also sounded stupid to me, and look how big that got. So, I'm not gonna judge it. I'm just saying it's not my thing. It's not my thing.
Licensings they got for it, like, what is it? DC, Back to the Future, Fast and Furious, Rick and Morty. Yeah, that game's pretty big.
Yeah,
like custom project.
Like for example, with this game, right? Like Knockout City, it's dodgeball and a fighting game. That would be like if the new FIFA game launches, and at any point you could just stop playing football and just start beating the shit out of everyone else on the field. Like
that'd be quite hilarious.
It'd be funny, but like it would get old after like 20 minutes. It's I feel like this game would get old for me after like playing it for like an hour. But I have no interest in it, but I included it because TMNT is a big property. It's been rebooted a million times over the past, 10, however long, 15, however long, many years it's been around. Didn't the new game come out for it? TMNT... I feel like there might have been.
Yeah, I remember playing it with one of our
There's
friends.
also been, 3 or 4 cartoons that have been rebooted and made over the course of the past 6 years or something. It's ridiculous. They keep trying to reboot it, thinking maybe this time. Yeah, I like how they keep rebooting TMNT and cartoons and TV. Like this time the kids will latch onto it, and then they never do. And it's like this time the kids will latch onto it, and they never do. And then this time, it's sad, but it's
I will say they are the four are the kind of iconic group of. Comic book characters for sure.
Yeah. The fifth topic. Now this fifth topic, I agree with full-heartedly.
Okay.
When this was first a thing, it never made sense to me, and I'm so glad that finally some bigwigs in some of these corporate gaming companies are starting to realize this now too, and it's starting to happen because it just seems so fucking stupid. Exclusivity is for nerds. I hate exclusivity. I hate when a game gets fucking announced, and then it's only for Xbox, or only for PlayStation, because it's man, I don't want to buy a whole fucking console just to play that game. Yeah. You can kiss my fucking ass, man. It's so dumb. I never liked exclusivity. Exclusivity to me is nothing but telling me that company that's making that game and making that deal is allergic to money.
For sure.
So, Microsoft's chief executive officer of gaming and Xbox head, Phil Spencer, believes games exclusive to a single console will be something we see less of over time. Thank you, Microsoft. At least Microsoft's taken that great step fucking forward, man. Fuck.
To be honest, I'd love to play the Ratchet and Clank series on PC.
I won't be satisfied until I see a fucking Halo release for PlayStation. I will not be satisfied until I see that happen. Not saying that I'm a huge PlayStation fan, not saying that we need Halo on PlayStation. I'm just saying, Halo on PlayStation will be, truly the death of exclusivity.
Oh, yeah.
That will be the day that nobody gives a shit about exclusives, and I don't think anybody should have gave a shit about it in the first place. This news comes from an interview with Spencer from Bloomberg discussing Microsoft's in-the-process acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which, again, thank you, Microsoft, for cleaning up that fucking mess so far. The fact that you're getting Modern Warfare 2 on Steam is enough to restore my fucking faith in humanity. The landscape of console exclusivity and more. He believes that this is a good thing for the gaming industry in the long run, which it is. You're gonna make more money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You put Halo on a PlayStation, that's a brand new fucking,
game.
I mean, okay, maybe not so much anymore because, we have social media and people who are one side or the other. But imagine back in the time of PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, Halo Reach just drops. Everyone who on the PlayStation side hears all these great things about this game and can't play it.
No.
If you would have released Halo Reach on the fucking PS4 back then, oh my god, the amount of money you would have made from PlayStation kids wanting to experience the greatness that they kept hearing about with Halo. Oh my god. Nuts.
Well, it's like vice versa. Like, I remember a bunch of kids playing, like, oh shit, you have Ratchet and Clank. Because, like, that was, like, sort of like the main reason we started with, like, PS or PlayStation is because the Ratchet and Clank series is such a good series, and I quite enjoy it. So, it's like, okay,
like,
the ability for them to play it on, like, Xbox and that, or even PC.
Yeah, there were times where I would have friends who owned both consoles, and at the time I only owned an Xbox 360, and there would be times where I would talk to them, and they would be like, oh my god, like, dude, Uncharted is such a good game, blah, 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 it's a single-player action game, and I'm like, man, I wish I could play that, and on the flip side, I would go to school and talk about how fucking amazing Gears of War 3 is, and how much fun Gears of War 3 is, and that one PlayStation kid would be like, man, I wish I could play that, like, if exclusivity didn't happen, we all could have had, like, very similar childhoods, and we all could have bonded over that, but instead, we have Xbox kid and PlayStation kid talking about two completely different games that the other can't fucking play. It was dumb.
Yep.
It is something, quote, it is something we're going to see less and less of when discussing the idea of specific games being exclusive to a single device. Quote, maybe you happen in your household to buy an Xbox and I buy a PlayStation, and our kids want to play together and they can't because we bought the wrong piece of plastic to plug into our television. Yep. That's exactly what I just said. That's fucking great. Yep.
Oh my god, that's like the timing.
Yeah, typically I don't, by the way, typically I don't read the articles. I usually skim over the first, like, 2 paragraphs.
Oh, for sure.
And then I'm like, this is interesting, and then I throw it on the list for topics. Quote...
because again, you can't really read the whole thing if you want to get topics quick.
Quote, we really love being able to bring more players in, reducing friction, making people feel safe, secure when they're playing, allowing them to play with their friends regardless of what device. I think in the long run that is good for this industry. And maybe in the short run, there's some people and some companies that don't love it, but I think as we get over the hump and see where this industry can continue to grow, it proves out to be true, which I fucking agree. Yeah.
And it's like the biggest thing now with like even Call of Duty as like a title. Like
crossplay
crossplay is like such a huge thing now.
So invaluable. The only like next development that they would need for gaming to be like, at least in terms of the social aspect, literally perfect, which for Xbox and Microsoft I could see this happening. It kind of already does exist, but I could not see this with Sony. They're just too much control freaks with PlayStation. But imagine if not only does crossplay exist, but then you're also able to, and again, this already kind of exists with PC and Xbox. Mm-hmm. Now imagine if PC players could like join an Xbox party chat.
Yeah. So
you could have, like it was a Discord call. So you would have like, we wouldn't have to worry about Def the Ghoul, right? Because we could join his PlayStation party from our PCs, and it's just like a Discord call, only we're using Sony's software. Like, that would be perfect. I don't see that happening with Sony mainly because they recently like actually added like party chat monitoring or whatever. So if you say some racist shit, they can ban you, and it's really dumb. But
but that's just Sony being Sony.
Yeah, but like I'm not saying that I agree with racist shit, but I'm saying there should be some free speech there. You shouldn't have your fucking speech in a voice chat monitored to a point where it's like an invasion of your privacy, right?
For sure.
Like, if I'm gonna talk about the wicked ass porn I fapped to last night with the boys, I want to be able to actually talk about that without some fucking Japanese guy across the world going, that's really fucking weird, dude. Like,
yeah, no.
why are you fapping to that band? Like, it's just dumb. But it's, I don't know. It's just once we get exclusivity out of this, and then once we can actually have some sort of like, once we have some sort of like cross chat interaction, like. Honestly, the best thing in my opinion would be not that we joined the Xbox parties. It would be if they could somehow work out a deal. Imagine if Microsoft works out a deal with Discord to where like Xbox party chats would be like their own separate voice call. and PC players could so somebody on Xbox could add somebody to the call. So like, okay, Xbox Party Chat works like a Discord call, like a Discord private call, and you could add somebody from your friends list to the chat. But you could like integration link your Discord account to your Xbox account. So on your friends list, there will be a separate section at the bottom of your Xbox friends list that's like Discord friends list.
Yeah.
And then you can see who has an online status on Discord, and you can invite them to your call. And like a pop-up would pop up on Discord being like, so-and-so from their Xbox has invited you to a call. Do you want to accept? And then you click accept, and then suddenly you're in their Xbox Live party. That'd be sick. But, you know, that's just pipe dreaming here, you know.
Well, realistically, the coding wouldn't be that awfully hard, to be honest.
Yeah, the thing that would be hard is, like, the Discord and Microsoft hashing it out and finding out how to get that two-way working, and I don't think Discord's a big enough company to host that many fucking Discord calls, and, you know, I don't think they have the server space and whatever.
Well, then again, they probably do, because, I mean, like, worldwide, you gotta think, like, a lot of people, including people who play console, use Discord.
But also, like, if they aren't at that point, with Microsoft's money, they could be at that point, so, like, you know. But moving on to our next topic, another one that I'm super hyped about. There's a new Outlast.
Ooh.
And I'm excited, not because I'm necessarily excited to play it, but Outlast has... There's certain horror game staples that whenever they released, I'm excited for YouTube. Because I know that, like, Markiplier or whoever I like to watch will play it, and I'm just super into it. I'm that way with the Dark Pictures anthology, like Until Dawn, The Quarry, shit like that. Whenever one of those come out, I'm always excited.
Play through that. It was actually really good.
Yeah. Outlast is one of those games. Resident Evil are those games. Like there's certain game franchises that I'm not necessarily excited to play for myself. I'm excited to watch content creators play it because I enjoy watching them play through it.
It's like the dynamic, right? So
it's not necessarily that I'm scared of it. Like I actually kind of want to start playing a bit more horror games. It's just there's certain horror games that even though I feel like it, like for example, this new Outlast, it seems like it would be fun to play, but I would actually get more enjoyment out of the game if I didn't buy it and play it myself and instead watched a content creator play. That's just how I personally am. With most horror games. There are horror games that, like, for example, FNAF. When Security Breach came out, yes, it was fun watching content creators, but after doing that, after watching so much content on it, I'm like, you know, I feel like I would have had more fun if I played this game instead of just watched it. Outlast is one of those ones where if I bought it and played it, I'd be like, you know what, I feel like I'd have more fun if I watched somebody play this.
For sure.
So there's definitely
a dynamic, right?
Yeah. So, a product description for the Outlast Trials, which apparently is the new name, the Outlast Trials, says players can expect, quote, mind-numbing terror, and that's exactly what we see in the game's newest trailer. Now, unlike the Atomic Heart one, I actually didn't watch this one, so we could actually probably watch this one during the after show too. Plenty of blood is shed as humans are used as lab rats in Murkoff Corporation's Saw-like tests. In some cases, the tests just look like torture and flat-out murder. The game is overly... Okay, maybe after reading that and this, maybe we won't watch it on stream. Like, me and Maple will watch it in our Discord stream, but I don't think I'll be able to show it on screen on stream.
No, because it says, and I quote, the game looks overly graphic, yet also brings about comparisons to Bioshock's tone and storytelling conventions. It'll be interesting to see how narrative sews all these wild experiences together. So yeah, sounds interesting. But yeah, no, I don't think we can definitely put if it's
I'm not putting it up. The Outlast Trials is designed as both a single player and cooperative experience. The player clearly is free to explore at certain points and appears to rely on trap-like devices to fight back and escape. In one sequence, we see two players helping each other up to higher ground. Pause! Co-op! That wasn't mentioned until just now. That's pretty cool.
That's dope.
The footage concludes with news of a short closed beta running from October 28th to November 1st. No other release news was shared. So there you go. Not only is it a new Outlast, but it's co-op, which is cool.
I was gonna say, yeah, if we aren't gonna get DMCA for
No, it's not DMCA I'm worried about. It's the graphic content. I'll still play the audio of the trailer. Like, I'll play the audio and, like, we'll watch it. But, like, if you want to actually watch it, you're going to have to look it up yourself because I don't want to show that overly.
No, because you'll probably get smacked with graphic content. Yeah.
Twitch will be like, "Yep, nope, that's a week-long ban right there. That's you should know better."
That's somebody being decapitated. That looks really realistic. Yeah, graphic content slapped.
Yeah. Alrighty, so there you go, new Outlast game. I'm excited to see like honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, man. Like Markiplier is my guy. Like he's one of the main people who I watch play shit. Usually, although I will say, usually I'm a first come first serve kind of girl though. Like if there's somebody else that I watch who does it first, I'll probably watch them play through it.
Well, if again, I'd probably go back and watch like Markiplier. Like,
yeah, I feel like something like Outlast though is something I would specifically wait for him to do.
Oh, you know, it'd be actually really interesting if, because I believe, what is it, recently they did a collab together with Corridor, Jacksepticeye, and Markiplier being one of their new interns. I think it'd be dope if the both of them played co-op, if it's co-op, for sure. Yeah. Like, confirmed. That'd be dope. Because I feel like they have really good chemistry, and it'd be, like, interesting to watch the dynamic of the two of them going, ah, shit.
Well, I don't think the two of them would go, oh, shit. Maybe they would, but, like,
yeah,
they would shit, like, not shit on the game, like, in a bad way, but they would, like, fucking troll and just be funny the entire time.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Great content for sure.
Alright, so I do believe we are now out of the gaming news finally. That was a lot of shit just based around gaming
that was, like,
this week.
Topics.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And we only have 3 for, like, the odd stuff.
Okay.
So slowly but surely, the more these episodes go on, I'll stop saying this, but I do get all of my odd world news stuff from Associated Press, so if you don't like it, just listen to what AP has to say, and if you don't like it or whatever, go look it up on your preferred news thing, like Fox or CNN or whatever the fuck it is. I just like Associated Press personally, mainly because they typically don't say if something's good or bad or whatever, they just kind of talk about it. In terms of, like, they just say what happened, and that's about it. So, this topic is a pain in the ass.
Okay.
In Detroit, Michigan. Is Detroit in Michigan? Am I dumb? Yeah, I think so. A giant slide in Detroit reopened Friday to people willing to see if its modified surface was a bit tamer. Days after a video went viral of riders getting bounced around on the bumpy ramp. The Department of Natural Resources scrubbed the surface at Belle Isle State Park, sprayed water, and advised riders to lean forward in their burlap sack. Indeed, some people found the slide more comfortable than it had been. WDIV-TV reporter Nick Monacelli told viewers in a live report that the slide was slower. Quote, "It helps," he said of adding water. Quote, "I still don't get it, the friction, but it helps." So there you go. Just like a lot of things in Detroit, they tried something new and it went shit. But I find that funny that they built a giant slide. It didn't work. It bounced around. It literally hurt people.
Imagine somebody getting bounced off, like a kid going flying.
Oh my god, that's so fucked. But yeah, it's funny that the city of Detroit built a slide in a fucking state park. And it's bad. Like it's really bad.
This, like, committee meetings. It's like, yes, you know, it'd be great for a city, a giant slide.
Let's build a giant slide in the middle of the park, but let's make it out of rusty sheet metal, so that people get bounced around and, you know, in pain and they get tetanus. Like what?
It doesn't work.
I'm not saying that anybody did get tetanus, and this article doesn't say that anybody did get tetanus or that the slide was rusty, but that's just what I'm picturing in my head. Because they did have a picture of it with the article. I didn't see any rust, but I'd imagine that thing being outside for like a week, it would start to get some rust on it.
Yeah. And that's why they had to stand it down.
Dude, it's Detroit. You know that they didn't coat that with any like rust-resistant chemicals or anything. You know that it's just gonna rust out in 2 weeks. All right, this next one's pretty good. Topic number 8.
Okay.
Blind man drives.
Oh god.
In Mount Morris, Michigan, a blind Michigan judge went for a drive and a sheriff rode shotgun. As 100 people watch, Richard Bernstein of Michigan Supreme Court drove a car on a dirt track Tuesday at the Genesee County Fairgrounds northwest of that place that had the bad water, Flint.
Maybe Genesee?
Maybe. Genesee, Gene Pool, whatever.
We're not aficionados.
We don't know that place. Also, I just looked over and we're at that part in the footage where we fall down the cliff.
Yep.
Quote, I've always wanted that feeling of what it's like to hit the gas or what it's like to turn on the ignition and what it's like to operate a steering wheel, Bernstein, 47, told WNEM-TV. Sheriff Chris Swanson, hey Peter, was in the passenger.
No
seat. His name is Chris Swanson, dude. If his name was Joe, I would have been over the top. Chris Swanson, Joe Swanson's son. I don't know if his son was actually named Chris, but
didn't he have a daughter in the show? I don't know. Anyways.
He did, and he also had a son that during a Thanksgiving episode came home from Iraq, which they thought and heard reports that he died. Sheriff Chris Swanson, hey Peter, was in the passenger seat giving directions and encouragement. They wore helmets. Straight it out, soft left, Swanson said. He's doing it. Meaning, so essentially a blind man got behind the wheel and the sheriff in the passenger seat was his rally driver, essentially.
Nice.
Bernstein, who is seeking re-election in November, doesn't let blindness discourage him from certain goals. He's run more than 20 marathons. Quote, my whole life, I've loved making people's dreams come true, the sheriff said. I love seeing joy on the face, and I have seen it the last 2 hours driving him up here.
Nice.
So, I think that was a cool, fucking wholesome story.
Do you want me to read the next topic?
Blind man drives. Nah, it's fine, I got it.
Okay.
The 9th one. Where the water go? Where the water go? Where the water? And Furness County, Nebraska. Authorities in Nebraska are trying to determine who released 16 million gallons of water by opening a dam on an irrigation channel one night this month, and why. The puzzling water release from the Cambridge Canal reduced the flow to some 18,000 acres of crops and jeopardized expensive irrigation equipment. According to Brad Edgerton, the general manager of the Frenchman Cambridge Irrigation District that runs the nearly 48-mile-long waterway. The canal was flowing at its normal rate of 150 cubic feet per second when Edgerton checked on his computer on the night of August 13th, but by the following morning, the flow had been cut in half. Something had happened at the canal's dam near the town of Cambridge, about 200 miles west of Lincoln. Edgerton drove there and discovered that someone had wrenched open the dam's two 10-foot sluice gates, sending the precious water down the Republican River.
Jesus Christ.
He estimates that about 50 acre feet of water was lost during the roughly 8 hours that the gates were open, and that the water was worth around $2,600 based on the $52 per acre foot price that farmers pay.
Jesus Christ.
Quote, it was an unfortunate situation. In the scheme of things, it wasn't a lot of water, but it was an inconvenience, he said. Which, I don't know.
Christ.
I don't know what fucking operation you're running if 16 million gallons of water is not a lot of water and an inconvenience, but Jesus God,
Not to mention somebody opening like two 10-foot sluice doors. Jesus.
And the fact that they said, where is it? They said, God damn, it's really hard to find this. Okay, here we go. Wrenched open.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe it wasn't like some employee that just did an oopsie and didn't tell anybody. No, somebody went with like a fucking crowbar into the water and just fucking jammed it in and opened them.
Yeah.
Which, like, what the fuck? I wonder if it's like, I wonder if it's tied to like crime, like the Nebraskan mafia didn't receive protection money from like a farmer, and they just are like, fine, have your farmland flooded, dillweed, and they just fucking open it up. But oh my God, that's nuts, man. Imagine losing 16 million gallons of water, and you're just like, losing it. That's an inconvenience.
Overnight. I know. Overnight. Like, what the hell?
That's nuts. I guess it's just that, like, the dam holds so much water that, like,
Oh, yeah.
that sounds like a lot, but it said it was only $2,600, so I'd imagine that, like, that's probably a multi-million-dollars worth of amount of
Like
water.
reservoir, yeah.
And they just, like, it was only $2,000. It's alright. Almost $3,000. It's okay. We have, like, 3 million more over there. It's fine. Like, but damn, 16 million gallons.
Over, like, 2 million or something.
Yeah, that's nuts. Alright, and our 10th and final topic is about a dirty, dirty criminal. The worst criminal. That's the worst criminal to ever walk the lands of time. Here at the Bullshit Podcast, we don't like to cover controversial topics, but this one truly is the pinnacle of controversy. The worst criminal known to man. Los Angeles, California. A California man who smuggled more than 1,700 wild animals into the United States, including 60 reptiles hidden in his clothing, pleaded guilty Wednesday to federal charges. Jose Manuel Perez, 30, of Oxnard, entered pleas to 2 counts of smuggling and a charge of wildlife trafficking.
Jesus.
Prosecutors said that from 2016 to this February, Perez and his accomplices used social media to arrange to smuggle animals from Mexico and Hong Kong. Most were reptiles and included Yucatan box turtles, Mexican box turtles, baby crocodiles, and Mexican beaded lizards, according to a statement from the U.S. Department of Justice. It is illegal to import animals without permits under an international treaty on the trade of endangered species, the DOJ said. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The worst criminal known to man, smuggling reptiles into the United States.
2016, goddamn.
Like, okay, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it is illegal to fucking, smuggle animals, but, like, really? That's, like, the worst... It's not the worst thing in the world. For like
6 years, goddamn.
Yeah, it's like, yes, it's against the law, but like I can think of a million other things that you could smuggle through TSA that's infinitely worse. Like
100%.
Now, if it were like some really dangerous animals, like say that they're like, importing some fucking Asian fucking killer hornets or like a specific breed of Hong Kong spider that one bite can kill a man, then yeah, okay, I understand that being a lot more, but dude, they're fucking turtles and lizards, man. Like,
there were crocodiles as well, but...
well, there were crocodiles, but like...
But they were a baby, so...
Well, that...
Again, I guess a baby can
yeah, like, out of everything that's in here, crocodile, like, that were listed, and I'm sure there's more that wasn't listed, but out of everything listed, crocodiles were the worst.
For sure.
And, like, even crocodiles are susceptible to bullets, so, like, I don't... Like, it's not... yes, he should get charged for it, 'cause it's against the law, but... box turtles, crocodiles, and beaded lizards, like, really, bro? Like, that's what you're doing?
Yeah, we should probably show what a
then again, I shouldn't really judge, because I actually don't know how much money is in that. Maybe this guy was being paid, like,
thousands.
20 grand to smuggle a fucking box turtle. Who knows, man? Like...
especially if it's like a rare species, then yeah.
But really, man, you're hustling fucking box turtles across the border, like reptile, like, okay. And
Dude's
the fact
I like turtles.
yeah, and the fact that he says including 60 reptiles hidden in his clothing. So what you're telling me is that this man just fills his pockets with lizards, and like stuffs the top of the pocket so that they don't get out, and like that passed TSA. That passed TSA. But no, the minute you bring a fucking switch comb, you get like cavity searched. Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Because you know what a switch comb is, right? They're like those combs that are like switchblades, but instead of a blade popping out, it's a comb. Yeah, like there was a video of this fucking
butterfly combs.
Yeah, butterfly combs or switch combs. Yeah, they're just combs that they're literally like butterfly knives or switchblades, but they have the blade replaced with like a little metal cone or a comb.
Yeah.
Those are fairly fucking common, but the minute you bring one through fucking TSA, you're getting fucking stripped naked and searched sometimes. It's nuts. But nah, man, this guy can just fucking shove like 10 lizards into his pocket, put a paper towel on top of it, ball up a paper towel and shove it in the top to keep him in, and he can just walk through no problem. That's nuts.
I know, and he's like, yeah, that's the crazy part. Like, even though they go through X-ray, like, you would have seen the animal.
Well, not only that, but like you think about it, that actually kind of does make sense that he was able to get away with it. Not necessarily because, you know, TSA, like if they did a pocket search, they would find it. But like nothing on those animals is necessarily metal, so like you could probably get through a metal detector.
Show up in the X-ray.
It would show up in the X-ray. Yeah, that is true. I don't understand how that worked. Maybe he wrapped it in like tinfoil.
Oh, that could be
or something, and like maybe he just like maybe he had them in like a little container, and then he wrapped the container in tinfoil, and like it was just like, what is that? Oh, that's my burrito for lunch later. Like fucking I don't know, but yeah, that's nuts. Man smuggled 1,700 fucking box turtles, crocodiles, and fucking lizards through TSA over the course of 6 years. Nuts, absolutely nuts. Or however long that was, 2016 to February, so 2016 to
that's
2022.
Like 6 years.
Yeah. So there you go. That was the bullshit podcast for the 29th. Thank you all so much for watching.
I still have it stuck in my head.
Oh yeah, same. No, for sure. It's shifting between that and Megalovania, because those were the two songs that we were talking about before the podcast started. Yeah, but you know, we were just for those who don't have context, before the podcast started, we were talking about there's been a lot of Spider-Man hype and stuff recently because of the new because of the Spider-Man PS4 game getting remastered for PC, and there's been a ton of like suit mods and stuff. And Maple had pointed out that somebody made a black suit color swap for the Sam Raimi suit that makes the Sam Raimi symbiote suit. And then we were talking about how spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the newest MCU Spider-Man movie, you can just skip to the end of the podcast, or you can stop watching now because, you know, that would probably be the end of it. But after all the Peters come through and whatever, after all that's cleaned up, you notice that Eddie Brock from the Sony Venom movies came through as well, and he left a little bit of the symbiote behind, so that's like a teaser to be like, okay, well now Tom Holland at some point is going to get the symbiote suit, and we were talking about how I hope that it's more than just a fucking color swap. I hope that it actually has like the white veins, and like it has like kind of the same aesthetic that Venom in the Sony movies had. And it looks like more like an actual living alien is on him, rather than just, oh, it changed his suit from red and blue to black. But and then in that, I started thinking about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 black suit theme, you know, the that's used in like all the fucking memes. And like I was saying about how that song is so iconic that you could hear like the and you know immediately what it is, kind of like how Megalovania from Undertale, you only have to hear did it, and you know immediately what song that is. It's kind of the same thing. All you have to hear is and you know immediately what it is. But yeah, that was August 29th's Bullshit Podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. Everybody who's here live, go ahead and stick around for the after show. Yes, Maple, thanks for being the guest for today's podcast. I appreciate you.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Look forward to possibly being a guest in the future.
Fuck yeah, man. Let's get everybody on here. Imagine if the podcast gets big enough that I can actually get like
multiple ghosts.
Well, ghosts. Bravo 6 going dark. Like fucking. But imagine if like I could actually get some like not like super high profile, but like imagine if at some point I could get like some relatively high profile people on here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But anyway, that's it for the Bullshit Podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. Those of you who are here live, don't go nowheres. We're going to be launching into the after show right after this. Those of you watching on YouTube, the highlights of this after show will be available next Sunday. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next
Sunday.
Bullshit Podcast. Sunday at the Monster Truck Rally.